What's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome back. We are back with Monkey Slap Monday, and I am excited because I finally got to watch most of the Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou fight, and interesting fight. One thing, so I watched it, and then I also watched it like without any sound because I think that's better. So when I do this review, we're gonna do it with no sound on the video. I think that's just a smarter way to do it, just because most people don't know what the hell they're talking about in boxing. So, but also there's a lot of moods that are swayed by commentating and what the commentators say. Because I watched it, and then commentators said, "Oh, well, Tyson's losing the fight," and I'm like, he lost one round when he got knocked down, and then until like maybe around 8 or 9, Francis didn't do anything. So how did he lose? Anyway, we're just gonna look and see what actually happened in the fight and see how we can kind of quantify everything that's going on. So let me transition. Shoot. Okay. So I have hold on. I have our fight here, but I also want to be able to go through it frame by frame. Um, I want to look. You know what? I'm gonna let the first round rock. I'm gonna let it rock, and I wanna call out the zones that I see. If you guys aren't familiar with the zones, the furthest you can be is zone 5, which is where they're at right now, corner to corner. Right, zone 5. That's as furthest you can be from your opponent. Zone 4 is slightly inside of that. Zone 3. Ooh, I'm sorry. Zone 3 is when you can hit with the jab. Somebody can hit with the jab. So right there, zone 3. Ooh, zone immediately to zone 1 and then backed out to zone 3 here. So we're zone 3. Just outside of the jab range, that's zone 4. So zone 3 is right here. Okay. He changed levels. Oh, he caught him coming in. So it looks like he really wants him to come forward here. Um, but Tyson Fury, the first thing he did, if you notice, the very first thing he did was he immediately just broached his personal space, and he said, "Let me hit you real quick, and then make it an ugly disengagement so that you know who's in charge." And now you see him waiting in zone 3, and he just gave us two feints here, and then he did, and then Francis tried to close the range into zone 2 and hit him with something, right? And we see the disengagement here at zone 1. Beautiful. Okay, back to zone 4. I'm talking that shit. All right, zone 4. There's zone 3. Ngannou caught the jab. Beautiful job catching the jab there. One thing that I really like here specifically is Ngannou's posture. Look at how high his hand is. Like, look at how high that hand is. That's a problem. You see from that zone 3, you see how Tyson Fury's prodding, right? He's poking. Look at him. He's jabbing the air, which is really good, but it because of the hand positions here, Ngannou still kind of has an advantage with that because he's coming from a lower position. Okay, so he's trying to make him come forward and then get on top of him. So he's starting low, and then Ngannou comes forward and then he gets tall. That's not the worst strategy. I don't hate it. Okay. Ngannou hasn't really controlled any of the interactions from what I've seen so far. Um, Everything's under control with Tyson. Oh my goodness, the hand controls. Look at that. There's another feint. Touch. So a lot of times when people put their hands like out there and they're doing different things with it, like they serve multiple functions. Like he's putting out a feeler, right? Both of them are. If you look at their lead hands, that's beautiful. That was a good try. Both of them are putting out their lead hand, but I think that Ngannou may be more aware of, you could call the intangibles. I don't like saying intangibles because everything in here is tangible. You can take all this data and record it and see what is actually happening. Ngannou had his hands up for most of that round, and I think that served him well because he almost got caught. He did get caught a couple times with the right hand, but um, I just want to point out a couple of things as we go through this. So when this next round starts, I'm going to show you guys what I'm seeing here, because zone 3, that jab range, neither of them has really taken control, but Tyson's definitely been more active. Ngannou, he does have an opportunity here if he kind of waits him out and stays tall. If he waits at zone 3 to 4, like a little bit towards the back, he makes Tyson come forward. And I've only seen I've seen about half the fight, and if I remember, when Tyson came forward is when he got caught, right? And that's exactly the shot that he got knocked down with. In the same situation, coming forward with a 3-2, while the person is ready to work, and you could get countered. You got to watch that. All right, so let's see what we're looking at in this round. We start here at zone 4, right into zone 3, walked in. Okay, he did take one step back. Okay, we got some bounce here. Feint. Controlled the air. Okay. So I really like this interaction. I know that it hasn't been but a couple of seconds in there, but I want to go back a little bit. Maybe right about here. Oh wait, that was a little faster than I thought it would. I wanted to go frame by frame. Okay, there we go. You can use the space bar. Okay, so from the beginning here, you can go through the frames right about after the second. There we go. So that was the second like little interaction. You can tell that they're having a conversation here. And Tyson, he really wants Francis to overcommit. I can see that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but if you look at the prodding nature of what he's doing, he's the Gypsy King. That's what he's supposed to do, right? He's supposed to trick you. So he's really making it seem like, hey, I'm being aggressive, like he did in the first round, right? And then he's waiting right here at zone 3. Look at the feint again. There's another one. Okay, and from there, Francis went ahead and took the bait, right? So he jabs, and you look at Tyson's front hand. He hit him with that hook at the same time, right? It wasn't the most solid hook, but at heavyweight, you know those every punch counts at heavyweight. So there's a little bit of a disengagement there, and then okay, as soon as he approaches into zone 2, that is where Tyson does not want him just walking in for free. So he had feinted, and Francis was a little close, so he went ahead, tossed that jab. Good job. Look at how he came off of his base. He came out of his fighting stance a little bit there. That was beautiful. Okay, so we're at zone 3. Look at this. Ooh, the feint. Okay. Okay, and look at Francis sweeping the air with that front hand, right? Sweeping the air again, right? Both of them were sweeping the air with that lead hand, if you guys can see here. And look at that. So he keeps touching the front hand. Beautiful. So, and the reason why I slowed that down is because in the beginning of each round, you can really tell what the game plan is. So in the first round, like I said, we saw Tyson come in and be really aggressive for like a second, just to kind of trick him into a more offensive mindset, because Tyson is running more of a counter. He's got a counter mindset, counter offensive mindset. This kind of touches on a really cool concept that Kaizen was going over with me. One of my mentors, Kaizen Master, he was going over the 4 logics. And, of course, I'd have to go delve into that a little bit further in a different video maybe. But the 4 logics, if I want to be very brief about it, is like offense, right? Offense, counter offense, okay? Defense, counter defense, and then defense. And just, want to be real brief in general about this, okay? Right now, you would say that Tyson Fury has a counter offense logic that he's operating under, right? He's coming forward and he's throwing something out there specifically to get the other guy to do something so he can counter it and remain offensive. And we see Ngannou, he's running. Well, he kind of switches because we saw him get a little aggressive here. Let me continue our fight here. We saw him get a little aggressive, but when he did, he got countered. So he might be. That's a counter defense right there. You see that? Counter defensive move. So now he's going offense. So he might be trying to be offense counter offense, but I really think he would do really well here with just running defense. Just counter defense. Just really draw Gypsy King out. Okay, that was a beautiful jab, catch jab, right? He catches and jabs at the same time. That level change, I don't love the level change against Ngannou. Like, look at how tall. He tried to close the distance there. Look at how tall Gypsy King is. Tyson Fury is so tall, and there's really no reason why he should be changing levels like that. That reminds me a lot of when I did the previous film study with Caleb Plant and Canelo. It's like Caleb changing levels, and so Canelo said, all right, we'll stay down there, and I'll hit you for it. I remember that. We did see a switch in this round to southpaw. And the reason why is because he was really trying to get that lead hand off of him. They talked about the lead hand battle a little bit, but they didn't really talk about the important part of it. And the punch availability. The punch availability changes based on your hand position. So, with Ngannou also switching, that's an interesting one. But I actually think that Tyson's doing a little bit better here. On the outside in a southpaw position. Oh, he went back to orthodox. So now this is orthodox versus southpaws. Lead hand versus lead hand. Yeah, that looks about right. You close the distance. If you close the distance unsuccessfully, then just disengage. And a clinch counts as a disengagement. Oh, he countered his disengagement if you saw that. Francis's front arm countered that whole disengagement by creating space. We can go back on that. Let's see here. I think. Yeah, right about here. Okay, there's a disengagement there, right? That's the clinch. So then the second time he did it, that's a really good adjustment to be able to see that so quickly. Here. Okay. That was a good disengagement there. I think I missed it, but that's okay. The point is, if you looked at Francis's front arm, he puts it here and creates a barrier, a whole barrier with that arm when Tyson tried to clinch him that second time. So because of that, it allowed him to score some points and just kind of improve his position. Again, it's not about the punches. It's more so about the position. All right, so we're going to get to the third round, and this is the exciting round for everybody, right? It's the round that he got the knockdown with that punch, the left hook that he just hit him with. Again, that level change, if you saw that, even in slow-mo. And there's the barrier that I was talking about with the front hand, if you see that. I think they tried to talk about head control in there, and I was like, yeah, that was a head control. Perfect. Yeah. The lead hand battle, that's going to be something. If they can keep... If Tyson is able to kind of figure out more habits that Francis has, because he definitely has habits if we see the way that he attacks. It's very basic. So there's a double jab forward. Ooh, beautiful waiting. Good job. See, this is how Francis should be fighting him. You see a very nice, poised, tall, nice and tall. I love that. I do love the feints from Tyson Fury. He's feinting to do everything he can to get him to come forward like that. See that as soon as he committed to that, you saw now Tyson Fury was able to move forward and take a better position in the middle of the ring. Then he gets pushed back. Not without making him pay though. So that's nice. Good disengagement, actually, from Francis. Okay, so unsuccessful attempt to broach into zone 2 there. That's a little bit better. Now they're a bit more on even ground here. There's another switch here. Touch, touch. Yeah, there you go. Touch, touch. If Tyson was a little bit more patient, I think that would be good. That's beautiful. You look at him. Look at him changing his hand position. You see him. He touch his nose. He touched the air in front of him. You know, he's always changing his hand position. That's what I love about watching Tyson. He does some really beautiful feints, and then throwaway punches. Look at him. He touched 3 different times, and then changed levels. Touch, 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 feint. Oh, this will be the third one. The double feint. Okay. He's checking. He's checking to see what his responses are to changing the zone 2 and zone 1. So he's touching the front hand. He's like, all right, are you countering when I try to come in his zone 2 like that? Yeah, that is where he is trying to read him a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, that was obvious. Yeah, that was very, very obvious, actually. Let's go back a little bit. So this is about where he was, trying to see what he does when he goes into zone 2, and he sees that he's not doing anything. But actually, just because he's not doing anything doesn't mean that he's not trying to do something. If you watch him, look at how high his hands are, and how he can see you, dude. He can see you. Don't just. All right, right around here. Look at his eyes. He's looking straight at him. Okay. And then right as he changed, all right, so we see that he's aware that he's trying to come in. So that's something to take note of. I don't think that he took note of that. I think they just saw something for free and he tried to take it. He said, oh, well, you're just not going to do nothing. He switched back to his orthodox stance. And then right about here, okay. So right there, you saw that little bounce right before he did that? That was a big telegraph. And then he's going to do another rhythm step. Watch. Rhythm step, and then as soon as he did that, he's like, oh, I see that you're coming in. And there's a hook. Boom. From one of the hardest punchers in the entire history of the world. Ngannou hits hard, so you can't really take that away from him. So the way that was set up, that was just a very obvious tell. It was very, very obvious. He kept coming into zone 2, like he did that about 4 times. And then in those last 2, he also telegraphed it with a bounce. So it's like a little obvious there. Again, it only takes one thing to mess up, right? So one mistake against a power puncher like that, and shoot, we're lucky he got up. Okay, on the outside, he's feeling himself now. Okay, a little bit of dance in there. Good disengagement. Yep, disengaged again. And then, yeah, we gotta catch him. Good round. So, looking over this, I think that Ngannou did a good thing. He did a really good thing by waiting. Now, I'm gonna watch one more round, and I want to see how Tyson made an adjustment. See, yeah, that bounce right before that just kind of totally telegraphed it. Shout outs to Barry Robinson for showing us about the rhythm step, because that was one of the most valuable pieces of data that you could pick up, especially watching somebody like Tyson Fury, who feints a lot, right? So, yeah, very telegraphed. But I do want to watch the next round just to see a possible adjustment, and then we can kind of go from there. I know that Tyson won the decision. Like I said, from what I saw through round 6 and 7, I saw through round 6. I didn't see too much coming from Francis going into all it. Okay. All right, so a lot more walking to the left. If you watch Tyson, he seems to be walking to his left at zone 3 a lot. He's like, all right, let me dumb it down real quick. Go back to walk the dog. And make him come forward. Okay. Smart man. Fighting tall, you see he didn't really change levels like super bad like he did before. Which reminds me a lot of the Deontay Wilder fight. Because in the first fight, he was changing levels a lot. Ooh, what a check hook. He was changing levels a lot in the first fight against Wilder. And that was a very close fight. He got knocked down. And it was a draw. But in the second fight, he stayed up and he stayed tall and pushed him around quite a bit, and in the third fight as well. So I'd venture to say, fighting tall might be your friend, Tyson Fury. Fighting tall. Okay. He's got his right hand glued up there. I think he got hit. He did get hit in the earlier interaction. Pretty hard there. Oh. Ooh, he that was his chance. He should have took it. Man was off balance. But yeah, he probably didn't want to sock him like that. My dog here is making noise. Oh wow. What timing for both of them to attack at that point. That was a really good time for Francis to attack because they had just disengaged. It's kind of a little bit of an unexpected time, but Tyson was ready for that. He was ready. He was expecting the unexpected. It's super important. Ooh, he tried to catch him coming in. Tyson's really taking his chances on that one. That was the same exact thing he got knocked down with. But that, you know what, that actually speaks to your fortitude, mental fortitude. If you get knocked down doing something, you have to understand whether you got knocked down because of the timing of it, or if you got knocked down because it was a bad move to be making. So it's not about what you do; it's about when and how you do it. It's always about when and how you do it. That's how people break the rules. They break all the rules, and they still somehow win. Control that lead hand. Look, Francis has now made the switch to southpaw. He doesn't like that lead hand game. He's been on the outside this whole round. Wow. Okay. Okay. We can look at the little highlights here. I'm gonna stop it here, but we see a notable difference. We see a very notable difference with the Tyson Fury in this round versus the Tyson Fury that just got knocked down. The level has changed. Okay, so he started fighting tall. That's really good. And then he started really playing that range 3 game instead of just trying to close the distance. He really tried to draw out Francis. But also, Francis might just be excited because he landed a shot and he's excited for knocking down the heavyweight champion. So maybe that's why. But that's what I see so far, man. I really like this fight so far. This is very exciting. I wonder if everyone... well, actually, I already know the answer. Everyone's all mad at Tyson Fury for some reason. I'm like, it's not Tyson's fault. He just did his best. They're like, well, he's a fraud. I'm like, okay. I mean, box him then. Like, if he's a fraud, you can make $40 million. Just box with him. Go ahead. But now, in all seriousness, looking at the fight, I think people need to understand an appraisal of what is happening. So when you see somebody walk in, just like we see right here in this video right now, you see Tyson is coming forward. He's got a low front guard, right? So he's sideways. And then we have Francis, who's also in a little bit of a sideways position, but you see he has a high guard, right? He's got his horns on. He's got a high guard. An appraisal of that, I'm like, Francis, thank you for coming forward with a high guard and being responsible. And Tyson, good job staying sideways and trying to maintain that zone 3 distance and trying to disguise your position because you are taller. So you can fight there, and then as soon as he comes to zone 2, bring your hands above his hands so that you can control. That would be, things that are really good to do in this fight. So yeah, that's what I mean by appraisal. A lot of people don't know what my friends my friends are watching something downstairs, but an appraisal in a fight means understanding like what little move actually means a lot, like how much it's worth. Just like if you find a treasure, an old treasure, like how much is that actually worth? Well, you have to take it to get it appraised. So when you look at these skills and these types of fights, guys, please do, don't just look for the punches. Just try to run an appraisal, and if you're not sure how to do that, talk to people. Talk to people that know, boxing, not necessarily boxing analysts, I can't even say that, but like people that are very cerebral boxers. And so like that, they'll be able to tell you, oh, when he catches the jab with the rear hand, that's actually a pretty high value skill, because you don't take away your jab, right? You catch the jab, you don't take away your jab, so you can still do that. And you can see, and you can keep your position. If they can tell you stuff like that, they'll be able to help you. But that about wraps it up for Monkey Slap Monday. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Maybe I'll do a little bit more of this fight. Maybe I'll do a different fight. Who knows? But we'll go from there. Thank you guys for dropping in, and I'll see you next week.